What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be diving into my full review of Fallout New Vegas. Yes, I did finish the game. For those of you who are telling me to finish the game and say, no, it gets better, it gets better. It did. There were still issues, but it did. And just as a little aside, there is not going to be an article version for this video. I was typing it out and I was like, this will just do way better as a video instead of being both an article and a video, because I had so many thoughts about this game that it would end up, I'm not even joking, it would have been a 10-page article to read. And I know that you guys don't want to sit there for like a 10-page article. So I have a lot of things to get into. I have a lot of things I want to say. So let's just get into this review. So the first initial review that I did, my first impressions, my retrospective, whatever you want to call it, it got a lot of people miffed at me because I didn't finish the game, which if you had watched the video, I explained it was because of the bugs and because I just couldn't finish the game. Like, a part of me also did not know where else to go. If I remember correctly, I was on GI Blues or something like that, and it was a quest line where you had to, you know, just follow the big man's orders, you know, like an impersonator Elvis, if you will. And it was really interesting to go through that quest to be able to even get the passport to go into the strip, which I thought it was a lengthy quest, but it was well worth it. And that was the one that I couldn't figure out because I was stuck on it. I was just like, okay, the game keeps crashing. I can't get to the certain point that I need to with this quest line. I'm just going to put it aside and wait till a little bit later and just do it at my own pace. Because normally whenever I do a review, I give myself a certain time limit on when I need to get the game done and get the review out. For this one, I didn't do that. I just took it at my own pace, and you know what? It felt great. When I could finally get back in and finally just do the game the way it was supposed to be done, I found myself actually quite enjoying it. I'm going to beat you to the punch right now for some of the trolls I want to comment saying, I thought you said this game was racist. I thought you said Fallout 3 was racist. I still think it's racist. I still think that there are racist things about this game and about Fallout 3. But I'm going to say this once, and I will say it multiple times. You can still enjoy aspects of a game while admitting, keyword here, admitting to the fact that there are also issues with it. You can enjoy a game, but also know that there are still issues about the game, whether that be in the storyline, the surroundings, the bugs, whatever it is. Fallout New Vegas creates this post-apocalyptic world where there's chaos, there's every which way you can go, where the karma system there is like, well, you can either be good or you can either be bad. There really no is in between, so just go for the good, more or less. That's where they try to push you towards, because with the karma system, let's say, for example, in Demon Souls, you can be kind of this in-between, you know, good and bad person with the world tendencies. With a Fallout, it's like, nope, you're either good or you're bad. But they, like I said before, they really try to push you to be good, which is fine. I don't mean, you know, I don't mind being a good person in a game. But when it comes to, like, if you want to get certain perks or do certain missions or see what Caesar's Legion is all about, you kind of have to be on the bad side to do that. New Vegas has several storylines. There are different plot lines. There's side quests. And it's just so incredibly diverse, the amount of different things that you can even choose in that game to begin with. Diving back into this game after I finished my first impressions and after getting past a majority of the bugs and a questline that I was really stuck on, I get to a degree why people love the games so much, specifically this one. While I have my own gripes with it, and while it has its own flaws and everything, I really understand why people love Fallout New Vegas and why they say it is the best installment. A lot of the flaws will create a barrier for new players who have never played Fallout in their entire life. It'll create this kind of gap in between where nostalgia is and where the game is. And nostalgia and the game for them just won't meet because they've never played any of them before. While nostalgia is a big factor of why a lot of people love these games, there are a lot of people who have more recently played the games where nostalgia isn't a factor at all, and they just love it for what it is. And I think that's something that's really cool, because when you can go into an older game and objectively look at it for what it is, get past the flaws and get past what it is and just enjoy it, I think that's really awesome. So when I got more into the story, I was like, okay, you know, we have to get the chip back from Benny. We're in the meat of it now. We gotta go. We gotta get, you know, we gotta possibly kill Benny. We gotta do all the things. We have to get the chip back. We have to do all this kind of stuff. I'm ready for this, okay? And I find out through not only the game, but through investigation on the wiki fandom what the chip actually is. And I'm like, oh, this is fairly interesting here. Okay. So inside the Platinum chip, there is the Mark II operating system for the Securitrons, which allows hacking capabilities. It allows for auto repair systems as well as the correct drivers for grenades and missiles, which I was like, okay, damn, this is pretty cool. And I'll say this right now, going more into it and going through the story and seeing actually where we started from where we ended up, depending on the ending that you get, this is so much of a better story layout than Fallout 3, Fallout 1, and Fallout 2, because I did play through a little bit of Fallout 1 and 2 as well. Fallout 1 and 2, the cutscenes of that game were good. They were very good. They were very cheesy, but they were very good. I just didn't like the controls at all whatsoever. It was top down, point click, and I was just like, oh god, this is just mind numbing right now. Get me out of here. Originally what I did was I gave the chip to House, not the guy from the TV show, you know, this house, this game's house. And I ended up, you know, thinking, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna give the chip to him. I can't find out where he is to be able to kill him, so I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna give the chip to him. And then I found the card. There's an ID card that you can get at the golf club that will enable you to go down into a basement bunker area and see House. And I thought this is probably the coolest part of the game, of where you see someone who has been kept alive for years and years and years. And I'm like, oh my god, this is turning into a horror game. I love this. Fallout New Vegas is what you get when you actually put in good writing and good storytelling practices. If this game came out today, it would be a bestseller. It would be hands down a bestseller. Some of my friends who are watching this video know how much I disliked Fallout 3, and they're probably just like, what's happened to her? So then you have like different factions that you can get into, like the Legion, you have NCR. There's so many different parts of the story that you can go into. I actually had to briefly work with the Legion in order to do what, you know, Mr. House said, and that was kind of strange, you know. And when you go into that bunker area to you know, enable the data to be transferred over to Mr. House, you see all of the different Securitrons basically that were back in Fallout 3, and I found myself reminiscing, not in a negative way either, and I found that that was so cool. I found that there were different vaults, Vault 21, Vault 19, Vault 11, and I had this strange wave of nostalgia flood over me, because when I first played Fallout 3, I absolutely loved it. When I first played it, I was like, the beginning of the game is so good, and it's an older game, but it's so like, it's very, it's cheesy, but in a good way. You know what I mean? It's filled me with nostalgia, and I always say negative things about Fallout 3, but this game, Fallout New Vegas, has changed the way I look at the series. Because there is potential. There is, like, this game has so much potential to do something so incredible. And I feel so bad for Obsidian, because they were not given enough time to make it into a game that it truly should have been. So there is something else I want to be able to add to this, because I feel like it's so incredibly true, and you guys just nailed it on the head. Like, it was absolutely on point. Back when I did finish the game about a week ago now, I posted on Twitter, and someone commented, the comments will be right here. In an age where games constantly come up with elaborate plots and bizarre motivations, New Vegas reminds us all the simplest motivations are often the best. Give them a character who is just super pissed off that some suit-wearing mother ever shot them. It's very true. Thank you so much, Trey Griffith, for that comment, because I think it's so incredibly on point. It's one of those things where the simplest motivation is normally the strongest one. Because when it comes back to it, in my retrospective, I said that there is no story to this. There is no story. False. There is a story to it. It takes a little bit of amping up and getting into and everything to be able to really see what potential it actually has, but there is a story. The hero motif of being like you're the chosen one was taken a bit too far in my opinion, but other than that, yeah, there is a story there. Not to mention there's 5 different endings that you can get. Oh my gosh, you know, there's so much writing and so much work that went into this, because when you think about it, Fallout 3 and New Vegas were the two most popular ones that came out. I feel like those games deserve remakes so badly. I mean, even, you know, exploring Prim, the Mojave, Hoover Dam, and, you know, there's so many different places, so much substance to what this game actually is. So let's get into some of the bugs, and this is where people are probably going to get irritated with me. I actually had one person arguing with me on Twitter today that was like, there's no racism in Fallout. There's no bugs. What are you talking about? It's just no way that I can describe the bugs in Fallout other than a catastrophe. Because when I went into that game first, it prevented me actually from continuing the game. Besides not knowing where I was going, I went in and I would go to a certain point and I would either be getting stuck indoors. I would, trip. I tripped over a rock and I pressed the jump button. Like I jumped and tripped over something and the game just closed out. Like, what? Exactly? Who knew that tripping over rocks would be such a catastrophe? I had no idea. Now I know. I know not to trip over rocks anymore. Now when I went back into it, I experienced game crashing bugs, getting stuck indoors again, because apparently the game just loves to stick me in between the door hinge and just go, like, just slide me through there like a cheese grater. And then there were other bugs of where I would stand in front of an enemy and I would, like, you know how, like, when you go to see, like, the VATs and you click on the part of the character that you want to just have go kapew? I went to do that. It got stuck on that screen, and then the game closed down on me. So I had to just hard save. You always got a hard save in that game. Hard save every single time. And it got to a point of where, like, I didn't get any bugs towards the end of the game where it was the battle for the Hoover Dam. So that was good. I was very happy about that. Very, very happy. Man, we thought Cyberpunk 2077 was a mess. Oh boy. So yeah, the bugs in there, they were pretty bad. But overall, this game, I enjoyed it. I really very much enjoyed the experience of the game, because when I finished it and I saw the ending that I got, and I was just, it's, the wave of calm like washed over me, because it's like, for so long I wanted to experience what other people were experiencing of, like, why are people enjoying the Fallout games? What am I, like, the odd one out that's just like, oh god, I can't stand these games? Because Fallout 1 had some of the cutest storytelling, because the cutscenes are just absolutely, like, adorable. And I feel like if they ever, in I don't know, some chance of hell, remake Fallout 1 and 2, I feel like it would just do so well based on the fact that the storytelling alone is really good. Fallout 2 is pretty much some of the same things. The cutscenes, very well done. The storytelling, very well done. But at the end, point and click disaster. And then we get to Fallout 3. Fallout 3, I look back on with a sense of nostalgia and a sense of that was the first time I ever got heat for an opinion on a game that I had. And I don't look back on it with fear anymore, because that was the first time I really got slammed for an opinion of mine. And I don't think a lot of you guys who are new who are coming and realized just how bad it was. A lot of the Fallout community, they need to understand that an opinion is that it is just an opinion. You can respectfully disagree with me and move on. There's no shame in that. You don't have to have a comeback or have a response or have an opinion for every little thing you see. When it comes down to it, Fallout New Vegas, I absolutely enjoyed it 100%. It was such a wonderful experience. It was something that I will always remember as the game that I went into initially not liking at first, but now given the chance and playing through the entire thing, I absolutely love it. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there can be issues with games, like racism, like bugs, like a lot of different things, and we can respect and appreciate the game for what it is while acknowledging those things. But if you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below. I make videos every day here on YouTube. May you find your worth in the waking world, dear hunter. Stay casually nerdy, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, you guys.